Hi Brollies, Marvin here from TechBroll.com, where we do unboxings, reviews, and sexy B-rolls. And today we have another newly released product from Tecware. We're taking a look at the new Tecware Forge M. This chassis features a front mesh panel with a polygonal design that not only allows for good airflow, but with a stealthy, stylish look to it as well. In this video, we'll focus on the design, features, and everything it has to offer. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so right here we have the packaging for the Tecware Forge M. In front, we have a preview of the product, and like I said, it features a mesh front panel for better airflow, and it also features a tempered glass side panel that I believe features a hinge type design. At the side, we just have the model name and the variant, and on the other side, we have the specifications that I'll mention to you guys while I unbox this. So this chassis has a dimension of 340 by 205 by 412 millimeters, and supports graphics cards up to 330mm, CPU cooler up to 160mm, and power supplies up to 160mm. It also supports 3 120mm fans in front, included by the way, and supports one 120mm rear fan, also included in the package. You can also install two 120mm fans on top, and if you want, you can also mount a 240mm radiator on top or in front. At least that's what it says here on the specifications on their website. I'll pop the complete specifications on the screen so that you can check it out. Finally, let's take a quick tour around the new Tecware Forge M chassis. Now at first look, as you can see, there's no denying that it resembles the popular fractal design Meshify C Mini with a mesh front panel that has this sort of polygonal design that adds a little bit of flair to its aesthetics. It is minimalist but at the same time stylish as well. On the left side, looking from the front, we have a subtle Tecware logo right here. Now, I mentioned that it looks like the Meshify C Mini, but the thing is, aside from the same front panel design, the Tecware Forge M is completely different. And what I really like about this is the tempered glass side panel with a black border around it, but what's cool about this is that it features a hinge type design, allowing for quick access to the internals while preventing any sort of accidental drops or damage. As you can see, it can swivel all the way at the back, and it is held up by a couple of magnets. Now at the back, we have the usual I/O cutout, and since this is a micro ATX chassis, we only have 4 PCIe slots with a hole design for exhaust. Of course, we have the power supply cutout and the adjustable 120mm rear fan mounting option. Looking at the back, we don't have anything here aside from the backside panel. Now in terms of the I/O, we have a rather large power button, 2 LED indicators, a super tiny reset button alongside an LED button, one USB 3.0 port, 2 USB 2.0 port, and the usual input and output 3.5mm jack. We also have here up top a much appreciated detachable magnetic dust filter. Aside from that, at the bottom we also have a large dust filter. However, it is quite inconvenient to remove as you'll have to remove these 2 screws that ultimately will remove the drive cage inside. Nevertheless, it's still nice to have a dust filter right here. Now removing the back panel reveals the back interior, where we can see the included screws and accessories as well as all the cables including the free case fans that features both Molex and 3-pin connectors. Aside from that, we have here at the back side the detachable cage that supports at least one 3.5-inch hard drive and a 2.5-inch hard drive or SSD. Now in terms of the power supply compatibility, this chassis supports up to 160mm power supply, and depending on how much storage devices you install, you have more space here. Speaking of storage, you can mount 2 additional 2.5-inch SSD right here on this side. As for CPU and motherboard compatibility, we have a quite substantial cutout here at the back side. In terms of cable management space here at the back, as per my own measurement, we have at least 1.6cm of space to work with. On the other side, we have a cutout here on the power supply to showcase the brand of your power supply if you're into that. Now, this particular variant that Tecware sent me is the non-RGB variant. So the included fans here are, well, of course, non-RGB, but thankfully it is colored black. Now it is worth noting that there is also an ARGB version of this with Tecware Orbis F1 case fans included. Now like I said, you can mount 2 120mm case fans on top or a 240mm radiator depending on the clearance of your motherboard. As for my approximate measurement, we have at least 1.8cm before anything sticks outside of this cover. Unfortunately, we don't have an included rubber grommets here, but at least the power supply shroud has holes in it, and you can also possibly mount 2 120mm fans here providing that your motherboard and graphics card will allow it. Now before we remove the front panel, let me just give you caution to not put any pressure on the mesh front panel as it is quite thin and easy to pop in. Luckily, I was able to easily pop it back out, so yeah. Alright, so removing the front panel is quite challenging at first, because the locking clips are still pretty tight for your first time, but with enough force pulling from the bottom side where the cutout is located, you can pull the mesh front panel out without worrying about the wires since the I/O are not attached to the front panel. Alright, so removing the front panel reveals the included case fans, and as you can see, unfortunately, we don't have a front dust filter here, and this is practically the only downside I can think of about this chassis. Now, looking at it, you can possibly mount the case fans inside and then install an aftermarket dust filter in front, but yeah, it's quite unfortunate that we don't have one already included here. Aside from that, overall, I really like what Tecware did with this one, especially with a mesh front panel and top exhaust, allowing for maximum airflow, and I also like the fact that they made the side panel with a hinge type design, allowing for quick access inside. The design of this chassis is also quite appealing with a polygonal mesh design on the front panel and an overall stealthy black aesthetic that is suitable for a non-RGB build, which I'm actually planning on doing so alongside the SE224XT that ID Cooling has sent me. And there you have it guys, I just wanted to make an unboxing and quick review of the Tecware Forge M because I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to getting this chassis as well. Like I said, I'm planning to make a build video around this and hopefully that plan will push through. So make sure to subscribe so you won't miss that experience. Huge thanks to Tecware for sending this in, you can get this from the link below. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.